G'day everyone, this is another video in the build-up to the Patriots versus the Buccaneers this Sunday. I'm so excited for this game. I hope you enjoy the video. Just quickly, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
What do you think's what's it gonna look like Sunday night? Because we were kind of setting the stage. There's nothing like it. There's no comparison in sports. It would have been akin to Jordan leaving the Bulls right away to go to the Wizards, winning one, and then coming back the next year. Like, that's the only comparison that you could possibly make. And on top of it, Brady's gonna definitely, by maybe the end of the first drive, become the all-time passing leader in the history of the NFL, never to look back on Drew Brees. Who's there? I mean, what's it going to look like?
You would have also had to have Phil Jackson say, I don't think he can do it anymore. I can win with Pete Myers. I mean, that also would have had to have been present.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Because that is the vibe that Brady got. That is the vibe that the Patriots sent to him. That is basically Bill's belief. Look, we won in New York with Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler. We won in Cleveland with Vinny Testaverde. We won here with you. We can find them and make them. And that's, so that's where that exists. But did you see Game of Thrones?
Of course.
Watch that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think this could have the potential to look like the Red Wedding.
Oh.
Yikes, Tom.
Oh, my goodness.
The Lannisters send their regards? I mean, come on.
Oh, wow. We were wondering if Brady's going to want to rub it in. Do you think he's going to run? I mean, he rubbed it in last year winning the championship. What more rubbing needs to be done? Does it need to be done in front of the whole world and in Gillette? Like, literally, that's what you think it's going to be like on Sunday night?
Well, don't you think that beyond the vindication of winning,
right,
that specifically, Bill, is the reason that Brady uprooted, and to a degree, Robert Kraft, who, I think that, and I have had a good relationship with Kraft, and I understand his motivations in this, but he said, look, I'm going to let Bill make the decision. And Bill made the decision, which was to really not even engage too much in contract negotiations to the point where Brady was out the door before free agency even began. So there was no free agent tour before Brady ruled out the Patriots. So I think both of them, Brady feels, he would like to try and get some kind of retribution against. This is the only chance where he can do it there. And I think it would be important to him to say, this is what you didn't want to keep for multiple years. This is the guy who you thought should be a temp.
Do you believe Brady won't feel any nostalgia Sunday night?
I do not. I'm not saying that he's going to bask in the moment, but Skip, you played 20 years in an organization. This is the first time Tom Brady's going to be taking the bus to the stadium. For the previous 20 years, Tom Brady's driven himself to the game.
You've been through this before.
I've been through this before.
At
Skip,
Baltimore.
And Denver.
And then go back.
I did it because of, yeah. And so, Skip, all of a sudden now you walk into the stadium, instead of going left to the home locker room, you go right to the visitors locker room. And now what I did, I'm not saying he's going to do it. I got over there early and I got an opportunity. I went back and talked to my athletic trainers and the equipment guys and some of the security guys that were there, the grounds crew. Skip, you spend 10 years. Tom Brady spent double that. I'm not saying it's going to be, you want to win the game.
But didn't you feel like an interloper?
Yeah, you're like, damn. I wonder if they go.
I don't belong in here.
And Skip, they introduced me and the crowd gave me a standing ovation running out the tunnel. Now, I don't know. I think now, Skip, a lot of teams, they just come out there as a team. They don't do it like when you was covered. They enter the starting lineup for the Dallas Cowboys and each guy run out the tunnel. I don't know if they're going to do it like that, but I'm sure the crowd, when Tom Brady is announced, they're going to applaud him. They're going to appreciate the 20 years that he gave him and the Super Bowls and all the countless memories. And so it's going to be a factor. Is it going to be an overwhelming factor? Is it going to be like too big for the moment? No. But to say Tom Brady wants you to believe that he's not human. But we've seen the side since he's been in Tampa, Skip, that Tom Brady let us into just a little glimpse. Yeah, okay, Tom, you kind of like us. Mm-hmm. You just win more. You're better at your job than a lot of people are at theirs. But you have emotion. There's a human side of you to this. And I believe he will have a little nostalgic moment to think about, like, dang, look around. Okay, let's go hang 50 on him.
Okay.
I hear you, Tom, but there's also, and I understand the way it ends, and trust me, the way that the only comparison I can make from my own personal life is the way things ended at ESPN did not go the way that I was expecting. And I have been the tip of the NFL Network spear for 18 straight years now. In many ways, when I mic up, coming out of the mist, as I once told Ray Lewis when he was competing against us on game day morning, like I come out of the mist every single Sunday at 9 a.m. in the morning. I wear it on my, it's part of my DNA. I totally understand. But I also, know that my 7 years at ESPN was terrific. It helped launch my career. I met my wife there. And are we going to forget when Toe Meets Ball that there was a 20-year relationship that put 6 banners on the wall, and that was all born out of, yes, a Mo Lewis hit, but in that year, Belichick sticking with number 12? I mean, do we forget about all of that right now because of the way it ended?
I mean, does Brady take his foot off the pedal? I don't think so. Does Brady want to take his foot off the pedal? Does he want to be nostalgic?
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of equated it to the Red Wedding. I think that my speaking to Mr. Brady last week and Karen Regent's conversation with Alex Guerrero and then my subsequent conversation with Alex Guerrero, which they're like, do not ask about the Patriots. They would prefer to come in with a minimum of hype, or Brady at least would.
Right.
Keep everything above board, extremely deferential and appreciative, while not overly so, not gilding the lily and making it sound as if it was better than it was. And then when he gets to the field, play like his hair's on fire. I don't think he wants anything added to it. I don't think he wants the expectation levels rising above vindication or vindictiveness. So that when he extracts it, then it was, okay, there's your surprise.
So are you saying there was a phone call maybe from Tom to his dad saying, Dad, let's just lay off the gas a little bit, and he calls up his trainer, Alex Guerrero, and say, lay off the gas a little bit? Because that definitely caught my attention sitting out here in Los Angeles.
No,
and it was,
we were basically said, cut the
I got to tell you, the more I think about this, I am concerned for the GOAT going back to his old New England pasture where he used to eat opponents like tin cans, right? Because he's shown so much more emotion in Tampa, so he's the new Tom.
Right.
He's the more open and outgoing Tom. He's letting us see inside.
Right.
And he is appreciating and enjoying the ride a lot more than he enjoyed it under Coach Belichick.
I would agree with that.
So the 44-year-old goes back to where he played for 20 years and was, to me, the driving force of the greatest dynasty in the history of professional football. And his emotions are going to be very mixed, but his emotions are going to be running high and hot into this game. So it's going to be very hard for him to do what he does better than anybody ever, which is control and channel his emotions.
Skip, how do you stand across the field and look at somebody when you knew they didn't want you?
That is correct. So I do fear for him a little bit because I think this is going to be harder than even he thinks.
Yes.
Because the defense is not playing very well. So I think the kid's going to have some success against this defense because people are right now.
Correct.
I just read the NFL Network reported they're going to bring in Richard Sherman.
Right.
To check him out, but there's no way he's going to be able to play in this game. He wouldn't be available for a couple of weeks, even if they choose to go ahead and sign him.
Right.
So they're really decimated at corner. So their back end is highly vulnerable.
Correct.
And if JPP can't come off the edge, he's got a banged up shoulder, and I'm not sure about his status. But if they don't have him to rush the passer, I think the New England offense is going to have a lot of success, which means it could be you got to outscore the New England offense. So the onus more than ever will fall on the shoulder pads of this number 12. And again, it's going to rush over him that he obviously he wanted to finish here. Yeah, this is where he wanted it all to end.
He said that. There are several things that he said. I want to play till I'm 45. I want to play my career here.
Yep.
That's what he's saying.
Okay.
And the one he could control, which was playing how long. And the thing with Skip, you and I was going back and forth. I was like, yeah, Skip, he might play till he's 45. I don't know if he's going to play with that on Coach Belichick watch.
No.
Because Coach Belichick was always talking about, I don't talk about the future. I'm just worried about Cincinnati. I'm just worried about the Giants. I'm worried.
Yep.
He thinks in terms of who am I playing this week? Tom talking about 5 years, 6 years from now? I ain't thinking about that.
We all were shocked because we thought he was going to go where? Chargers were in the mix. You heard the rumors about Tennessee was knocking on their door.
Raiders, maybe.
49ers was a big hot rumor at the Combine.
Yeah,
that
going
year.
home.
Hot.
Right.
Raiders, when we had Mayock on in the Combine in 2020. And I asked him about the Brady rumors, and he just, he sticked that aside like Dominic Hasek, standing on his head, okay?
Great save by the keeper.
And so we all looked for the schedule, do the Patriots play the Buccaneers? Right on the spot. And I remember looking at it. I remember where I was on the set of NFL Network's Free Agency Frenzy when the tweet came across that the Chargers were out. And then all of a sudden it broke that the Patriots were about to watch Brady go play for Tampa. Not return back. Over. And I remember reaching for the schedule and seeing it and go, oh, he plays them next year. That's too bad. This year would have been great.
This year's actually
not
better.
Thinking at all.
Right.
Not thinking at all that Brady would be coming back as a defending Super Bowl champ. And the Patriots would be starting a rookie in their first attempt at filling his shoes with a long-term plan.
Okay, so he now insists on the podcast last night, I'm going to be thinking only about one night of football, a Sunday night game coming off, as Jenny read, coming off a really tough loss. It was a really tough loss, and it took a lot out of his team. It was very physical. Gronk got beat up. Everybody. Jamel Dean got hurt. They all,
Bernard.
Hey, all of them. Yeah, I don't know how his knee's going to be. I'm sure they all got lots of bumps and bruises from that game because it was extremely physical because the Rams were out of their minds because this was like a Super Bowl type game. It was at least a playoff type game for them. So now you got to dredge it back up to go back to New England where this team wants to win badly for Brady. But has he ever wanted to win a game any worse than this game?
Yeah, I would rank this right below the Super Bowls.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
You sure you'd rank it below? I'm not sure in his heart of hearts that it wouldn't rank at the top of the list.
It's up there, Skip, because when you feel someone has wronged you, there's nothing greater than getting satisfaction. It was like, I told you, I could still be doing this. And Tom is going to look around. And now, Skip, think about it. You used to stand on one side, you're on the other side. And you're looking at these guys like, man, they're my friends. I don't know if Tom has ever prayed. I don't know what's the turnovers been since Tom has left. I'm sure it's a lot. But some of these guys, McCourty and Kyle Van Noy and Slater and some of these guys, he's played against. He's played with.
Yes.
And the coaching staff, for the most part, that's one thing. The Patriots don't really do a whole lot of turning over the coaching staff. Those guys, unless they get a head job somewhere or an OC job, DC, they stay right there for perpetuity.
Okay.
So for me, I don't think he's giving it the credit that it deserves because he's trying to man, look here, I'm a Terminator. I'm here to do a mission. I'm going to complete this mission, and I'm going to get back on the bus, get back on the plane. But I don't think he understands the range of emotions that he's going to feel because he's never had to experience it before.
It's going to be very difficult.
But the fact that Brady's returning home as a defending Super Bowl champ and starting for the Patriots is a rookie from Alabama, Mac Jones, in his fourth career start. That this is the matchup. And this is the kid that Belichick, for sure, because Bill doesn't have another 15 years, you think. This is definitely Bill's first attempt at a long-term plan in winning without Tom Brady. That's the setup. There is no comparison. We can't look at other sports. Well, who's won 6 times in baseball and then returns for the home team to cheer or view or whatever you want to do, that he's now a visitor coming off of a championship season, World Series championship. NBA, is there such a thing that exists? It would have been like Jordan showing up for the Washington Wizards the next year.
Yeah.
After winning a
leaving
title.
the Bulls and winning a title for them.
Right.
That's the only possible comparison you could say.
Yeah.
It's never happened before, we're seeing Sunday night. There's no way to compute. So on his pod with Jim Gray, right?
Yeah. And Larry Fitzgerald.
And Larry Fitzgerald.
The Let's Go pod.
Okay. This is what Brady had to say about returning home Sunday night.
I know that locker room. I know that home locker room. I know that home tunnel. I know, which way the wind blows. I know everything about that. I know the way it smells. I know what a night game's like. I know what the fans are going to sound like. So in some ways, that'll be really unique. I've never had that experience going to, New England will be a first time for me being on the other sideline. So, I'm not going to necessarily reminisce. I don't think this is the moment for that. I'll have plenty of opportunities to reminisce about my football career. None of which I really care to do right now because I'm so much in the moment. And I'm not going to be thinking about, 20 years of history. I'm going to be thinking about one night of football, a Sunday night game coming off a really tough loss. They're coming off a really tough loss. So both teams are going to be fighting and clawing for a win. There's one thing I learned from the Patriots. Belichick would say, listen, if you love football, then, 8:30 on Sunday night at Gillette Stadium is the place to be. So I'll be there. My teammates will be there. We'll be ready, prepared, and it's going to be a great night of football.
Well, I'll tell you what. Brady, as you know, he strolls around the field when he shows up. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've shown that so many times on NFL Game Day morning where he'll show up and he'll just walk the field. That field stroll is going to be something else.
He's on the other sideline.
And then, there will be cheers, right? Correct? Yes?
There better be. If anyone boos Tom, leave. Go home.
Go home.
Go home. Like, what are you doing with your life?
And so at some point, there will be, I imagine, did the Patriots do a video?
They could do the whole 12-minute halftime celebrating Tom.
No, but do you do something? Because I remember when Andy Reid went back to Philadelphia, they did a video for him. They showed like a very classy video on the screen. The Patriots have to acknowledge his presence. Now, they could also wait for him to throw his 69th yard in the game. Because of as if the stage isn't set in the manner in which we've just described. Mm-hmm. He is 68 yards away from passing Drew Brees to become the all-time leading passer in the history of the NFL. He's going to break an all-time mark.
At home.
Away. He's not home, Chris.
Got caught up
Break out of that.
Got caught up in the rapture.
No, he's not
home. Sorry.
No, he's the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to win a Super Bowl in his home stadium.
Sorry.
He's the away team.
He'll be the visitor, but
at that point, you got to stop the game, right? And he won't want to. I'm pretty sure he'll be pissed because it might be in the middle of a drive.
I would say no, don't stop the game there. But I would do the tribute video pregame. Let's get everybody fired up, and then now they're opponents.
And it shocked me last week that he signed off on both his father and his trainer doing interviews with New England area media, with Boston media.
Right.
A week ahead of this game, on the week they were getting ready for their toughest game on the schedule at Rams.
Correct.
And the trainer said that Bill Belichick took the ultimate shot. He never evolved with Tom. He never was able to honor Tom and treat him with the respect that Tom had earned after several Super Bowls.
He treated him just like the 6th round draft pick.
Yep.
In year 10, year 11, year 15, year 20. And there has to be some kind of growth. There has to be. Skip, I have kids. And when we go out, Skip, the hardest thing for me to realize is that they come like with ordering drinks. My daughter, let me get a margarita. And then I realize, damn, she's 28.
Yep. True.
So Skip, that's the evolution process.
No, I know.
At some point in time, Coach Belichick, you got to realize, you know what?
Yep.
He ain't just a 6th round quarterback. The guy kind of big deal now. I got to.
Okay. And the father spoke last week to Boston media and said that he feels extreme vindication over the way his son was treated. Yes, extreme vindication.
By the way, they have to boo him. Like, you cheer him.
What are you talking about?
You cheer him pregame. You give him all the love, but during the game, he's the opposition.
Absolutely not. You know how many Brady jerseys are going to be in the stands?
That's just how I look at it. Like, I'm going to show you so much love beforehand, but when the game starts, I got to boo you.
There's a difference. There's a difference between rooting against and booing.
Yeah, but I don't mean like, hey, Brady, like nothing off killer, but you're the opposition now, so I got to boo the man.
Yeah, but but it's a unique situation. This is a one-of-one situation. Yes, he's the opposition, but every Pats fan, if they're honest with themselves, was rooting for the Bucs last year to win the Super Bowl.
Probably.
That's probably true.
I would not dispute that at all. You
So,
were. I know. I
yeah,
mean,
of course.
Certainly against the Chiefs. Certainly on the day of.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I wanted the Bucs to win last year because I love Tom. That guy has brought me more joy than any other athlete ever aside from David Ortiz. So, yeah, I want that guy to be awesome. Do I want him to win on Sunday?
No way. No way.
That's why you got to boo that man.
Totally understandable.
But I'm not going to boo him. I mean, I hope he has 5 touchdowns and 500 yards, but I hope the Pats win 35-34.
Well, you understand if that's the case, you ain't winning that game, right? If he has 5
I just saw him throw 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 400 yards and no picks, and they lost.
Yeah, but that was to the Rams.
So anything can happen, man.
So then Tom on his podcast last night tried to make a big joke about, I have a statement to make about my father, that never again will he be allowed to speak on my behalf. Like he's now disqualified.
Yeah, whatever.
You signed off on that. You knew what he was doing. He definitely checked in with you.
Of course.
And said, I'm just going to spill it. I'm just going to speak my heart. Go ahead. Sure.
The 3 closest people in his life, Giselle, whatever she said, when she said she was worried about Tom and the concussions about how he came home, I believe her because she there with him every night. When the trainer said what he said, he's with that guy every single day.
Every single day.
And I don't know how often did he talks to his dad, but I'm sure he talks to his dad a couple of times a week.
I'm going to bet every day with the dad. That's how close they are.
Well, I know that they talk a lot.
Yep.
So that's my bank. I'm cashing whatever they selling, I'm buying.
You're buying. It's going to be a tough night for Tom Brady.
It is.
And also, guys, this is it. Like,
I mean,
he's not ever going back to New England, right? I mean, it's going to be another 4 years, 5 years before those teams schedule up again. So I don't want to say never with Tom Brady, but
He might play another 4 years.
could, but
it's entirely possible the next game is at his house.
Right.
I mean, in 4 years from now.
Right, sure. Do you think there's a situation where they come in, like, what's the single game passing record? Like, what's the single game touchdown record? Do you think that
he's just going to shoot for something?
they're just going to go for it? Like, Bruce is like, we're going to get you all these records in Foxborough.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know if Brady wants to show any. I mean, there's so many different angles to this.
Yeah.
The entire week we're going to keep hitting it, but I'll just give a brief one right here because I could keep going on and on about this.
Well,
and we've got a break. And we got Tom Curran coming up who asked Belichick questions about the days of yore with him and Brady. And as you know, Belichick likes going down memory lane, but this is one memory lane I don't think he wants to go down because we're talking about an opponent this week and it's Brady and you'll hear the Q&A that Curran had in a moment before Tom joins us from NBC Sports Boston to discuss the Q&A that he had with Belichick, who dropped in his local media radio hit on Monday that Brady thought that the Buccaneers were a better option. He asked Bill why he thought that would be the case. Oh, boy. Hang on for that. But there's so many different ways to go about it. And we'll draw on every one of these strands that are hanging there. Here's one, though, Chris, for you. Brady already showed the Patriots up.
Yeah.
Does he need to do it in their house in front of the whole country? Just how bad was it that he wants to rub it in their noses in front of all of them and the whole country watching? Just how badly does he want to do it? And how badly do the Patriots want to prevent him from doing it? And how badly do they want to have Mac Jones say, we're okay?
Yeah.
we're okay. And how badly do the Buccaneers defense want to do it for Tom? Tom, you're above the fray about rubbing it in their noses. We'll do it for you. Mac, you thought it was bad against the Saints? Guess what? You're about to have a long Sunday night.
I think that's very real.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.